Okay, you can heal family. So I'm at my daughter's. I'm going to try to sit outside here. Well, I am. I'm not going to try. I am. And I'm going to read chapter 11 to you. We're in 2 Kings. My name's Shena, and I'm glad that you are with me today. It says, look at this paper. When Athaliah, a mother of King Hazael of Judah, learned that her son was dead, she set out to destroy the rest of the royal family. But Hazael's sister Jehosheba, the daughter of the king of Jehoram, took Hazael's infant son Joash and stole him away from among the rest of the king's children. There were probably about 7 names in about 2 verses. That was a lot. Jehosheba put Joash and his nurse in a bedroom to hide him from Athaliah, so the child was not murdered. Joash and his nurse remained hidden in the temple of the Lord for 6 years while Athaliah ruled over the land. Overthrow of Athaliah by Jehoiada. These names are going to take me right out. In the 7th year of Athaliah's reign, Jehoiada the priest summoned the commanders, the Karaite mercenaries, and the guards to come to the temple of the Lord. He made a pact with them and made them swear an oath of loyalty there in the Lord's temple. Then he showed them the king's son. Jehoiada, I don't even know, told them, "This is what you must do. A third of you who are on duty on the Sabbath are to guard the royal palace itself. Another third of you are to stand guard at the Shur gate, and the final third must stand guard behind the palace guard. These 3 groups will all guard the palace. The other 2 units who are on duty on the Sabbath must stand guard for the king at the Lord's temple. Form a bodyguard for the king and keep your weapons in hand. Any unauthorized person who approaches you must be killed. Stay right beside the king at all times." So the commanders did everything just as Jehoiada the priest ordered. The commanders took charge of the men reporting for duty that Sabbath, as well as those who were going off duty. Oh my gosh, sorry. What is that? Has that been sticking up the whole time, You Can Heal Family, and no one told me? I think the thing is coming out. Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's annoying. I'm totally distracted. I'm at my daughter's house. I'm watching my grandson, and he's sleeping, and they're getting ready to leave. I hope I'm not rushing you guys through the Word of God. I really feel like I am, but this is my real life here. All right, so they brought them all to Jehoiada the priest, and he supplied them with the spears and shields that had once belonged to King David and were stored in the temple of the Lord. The guards stationed themselves around the king with their weapons ready. They formed a line from the south side of the temple around to the north side and all around the altar. Then Jehoiada brought out Joash, the king's son, and placed the crown on his head. He presented Joash with a copy of God's covenant and proclaimed him king. They anointed him, and all the people clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king." Now the next section is death of Athaliah. When Athaliah heard all the noise made by the guards and the people, she hurried to the Lord's temple to see what was happening. And she saw the newly crowned king standing in his place of authority by the pillar, as was the custom at the times of coronation. The officers and trumpeters were surrounding him, and people from all over the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. When Athaliah saw all this, she tore her clothes in despair and shouted, "Treason, treason." Then Jehoiada the priest ordered the commanders who were in charge of the troops, "Take her out of the temple and kill anyone who tries to rescue her. Do not kill her here in the temple of the Lord." So they seized her and led her out to the gate where horses enter the palace grounds, and she was killed there. Renewal of the covenant. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people that would be the Lord's people. He also made a covenant between the king and the people. thought he just said that. And all the people of the land went over to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They demolished the altars and smashed the idols to pieces. And they killed Maiden the priest of Baal in front of the altars. Jehoiada the priest stationed guards at the temple of the Lord. Then the commanders, the Karaite mercenaries, the guards, and all the people of the land escorted the king from the temple to the Lord. They went through the gate of the guards and into the palace, and the king took his seat on the royal throne. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the king was peaceful because Athaliah had been killed at the king's palace. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. Well, that's young. 7. Is this the same? Okay, Joash. He presented Joash with a copy of God's covenant and retained him king. Okay, so when the people shouted, "Long live the king," it was Joash they were talking about. He was only 7 years old. What a responsibility, right? And who says you can't be young and have a position in life? I don't know. I guess any age you can do anything. So we'll see how that plays out. He's so young. So in chapter 12, we'll read about Joash's reign. So yeah, that's chapter 11, you guys. I don't know. It was a lot of names in the beginning. I can't keep them all straight half the time. But yeah, feel free to go back and read this chapter yourself or whatever. Honestly, you guys, all I'm thinking about is my little grandson in there and just getting my hands on him because he's so super cute. But anyways, we had a very good coaching call this morning about accepting what happened in your past and who did what to you and how it affects you and all that. So join us next month because we're going to be talking about forgiving yourself and just accepting like decisions you've made in the past and choices. So I'm going to try to, well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to post that link. What is this here? Post that link a week before. So it gives people time to get on the call, and I'll put out a little poll like what time you think is best to, and the majority wins, right? And we'll have the call at that time. All right, so that's it. I love you. Always remember, true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love and he lives on the inside of you. Bye.